is given by the ratio of yield stress to allowable stress or design stress. Then factor of safety for the brittle material is given by ultimate stress sigma u divided by sigma design or allowable stress, that is allowable stress or design stress. Okay, sigma allowable or sigma design both are same. Okay, or permissible stress, that's also same. So design stress or allowable stress or permissible stress, they're all one and the same. So you will get design stress or allowable stress when you divide ultimate stress by a factor of safety in case of brittle material. Correct. So this is about factor of safety for ductile and brittle material. Now for normal factor of safety that is taken for commercial aircrafts. Okay, so commercial aircrafts, because human intervention is there, so commercial aircraft normally they use a factor of safety of 1.2 to 1.5. That is the factor of safety that is used in commercial aircrafts. Whereas in case of military aircrafts, okay, military aircraft, they use factor of safety of 1. Okay, they exactly manufacture with a factor of safety 1 or even less than 1.1. So they go from 1 to 1.1 maximum in case of military aircrafts. Whereas in case of missiles, okay, in case of missiles, they will have factor of safety to be equal to 1, because anyway it does not going to return back after operation. So for military aircrafts, they will go between 1 and 1.1, or you can take it as less than 1.1. Whereas for missiles, the factor of safety they normally take is 1. So when you are designing brakes, okay, because it involves the fatality of the passengers, or if something goes wrong, then the accident will lead to the death of the human being. So therefore, for during design of brakes, so normally the factor of safety is taken as 2 to 2.5. Okay, so these are the factor of safeties are taken for various applications. Okay, are you there with me? Are you there? Yeah.
Yes.
Then so please note down this much. Please note down into your notebook. Factor of safety for a ductile material is given by yield stress by design stress or allowable stress. Factor of safety is equal to ultimate stress by design or allowable stress in case of brittle material. So sigma u stands for ultimate stress. This is yield stress. So for commercial aircrafts, factor of safety normally they take is 1.2 to 1.5. Whereas for military aircrafts, they take it as less than 1.1. And for missiles, it's going to be equal to 1. For braking applications, they go for a factor of safety of 2 or 2.5. Because on even lifts also, brakes, where the human life is involved, in such cases, okay, they are going to have higher factor of safety. What will happen if you use a factor of safety of 2 or 2.5 in case of aircrafts? The overall weight of the aircraft will increase, thereby you need the lift of the aircraft is affected heavily because of more weight that gets accumulated. If you take more factor of safety, more is going to be the cross section and bigger and bulkier will be the aircraft. So therefore, it requires additional energy requirement. The overall aircraft weight will go up and the lift will get affected heavily. So therefore, for commercial aircraft, so they have 1.2 to 1.5, and the components are manufactured very, very accurately in case of aircrafts. Okay, noted down, finished? Finished noting?
1 minute.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Finished up?
Yes, sir.
Now, before we get into the definition of design as such, we need to understand certain material properties clearly. Okay. So first one in that is going to be the resilience. Okay. So resilience is the ability of material to absorb energy per unit volume without permanent deformation. That is, it's denoted by capital U. That is the strain energy absorbed, or you can call it as resilience. It is the ability of a material to absorb energy per unit volume without permanent deformation. Okay. So please note down. Please note down in your notebooks. Please note down resilience. Resilience. It is the ability of a material. It is the ability of a material. It is the ability of a material to absorb energy. To absorb energy. To absorb energy per unit volume. Per unit volume. Per unit volume without permanent deformation. Without permanent deformation. Without permanent deformation. Okay, done. Now, next property that we need to know is the toughness. Okay, again, when it comes to toughness, again, it is the ability of material to absorb energy per unit volume, but here it is without fracture. Without fracture. That is very important. Okay. So again, the toughness is the ability of a material to absorb energy per unit volume without fracture, and it is given by area under stress strain curve. Okay, up to fracture. This is the fracture strength. This is what we have taken in case of in the empty lab. We conducted an experiment. Okay, and then we got the stress strain diagram, and we got the fracture strength also. Correct? So the area under stress strain curve up to fracture will give you the toughness value for a particular material. Is that okay? Are you there with me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please note down toughness. It is the ability of a material to absorb energy. Note down. It is the ability of a material. It is the ability of a material to absorb energy. To absorb energy per unit volume. Per unit volume. Per unit volume without fracture. Without fracture. Okay? Without fracture. Next line. Next line. It is equal to the area under stress strain curve. It is equal to area under stress strain curve. It is equal to area under stress strain curve up to fracture limit. Up to fracture limit. Up to fracture limit. Okay. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Note down the sketch over here. Note down stress strain diagram. Indicate fracture point, and this is the area. You hatch it, and then indicate that as toughness. Yeah. Without fracture, have you taken without fracture in toughness?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So note down the stress strain diagram, and the area under the stress strain diagram will give you the toughness of a material. Finish, huh? Okay. Now observe here. This is the stress strain diagram of a brittle material. For example, this will play over there. Okay. In case of brittle material, you will have fracture over here. So this is going to be the area under stress strain diagram. So whether brittle material, this is the stress strain diagram of which material? Ductile or brittle?
Ductile.
Ductile, excellent. Okay. So, which material will have more toughness? Is it brittle material or is it ductile material?
So ductile material.
Yeah. So, ductile materials will have more toughness than brittle materials. Okay. So, that you please keep in mind. So, this is about toughness. Next part that we are going to next property that we need to learn is anyway homogeneous material. So this we know, we have been studying since our high school times. So what is homogeneous material? What is homogeneous material? Anyone? Yeah, please involve. What is homogeneous? Tell something. What is
Composition
homogeneous?
remains same throughout.
Yeah?
So composition remains same throughout the material.
Composition remains same. Next, anybody else?
In the phase,
Yeah?
phase in the composition remains the same.
Anyway, okay. So material
Properties remain same in all directions.
excellent. Okay, the material properties. Okay, the material properties are uniform throughout the continuum. Continuum is nothing but the entire body. Okay, where there are no voids, we call them as continuum. Okay, so the material properties are uniform throughout the continuum. So that is what is called as homogeneous material. Okay, and what is isotropic material? Next is isotropic. What do you understand isotropic material? What is isotropic material? Yeah, iso means same, correct?
Same
Yeah, Tarun, clarity?
same properties in all the directions.
Yeah, that is the material properties are independent of direction or orientation. Okay, so material properties are independent of direction and or orientation. Okay, that is isotropic material. Okay, and then next is anisotropic material. So in case of anisotropic property, we will have there's no plane where you have got symmetrical material properties. One second, hold on. Okay, so yeah, anisotropic material is the one where you don't have, in any plane, you don't have material symmetry, material property being symmetric in neither of the directions. That is as an anisotropic material property. Next is orthotropic. What do you mean by orthotropic? What do you mean by orthotropic material? In orthotropic material, okay, you will have different property along each of the axes. That is, the material properties are in three directions, x, y, and z. Okay, you will have different material properties in each of the directions. So that is what happens in case of laminated composites and so on, where they do layups in different directions at different angles. So you will get different properties. That is, depending upon the application, we can have different properties in each of the directions. That is, each of the axes. That is what is called as orthotropic material. Example for orthotropic material is wood. Then we have this another wood property. This thing is there, no? Wood fiberglass. Okay, so you will have that. You will have, they are orthotropic materials. Is that okay? So homogeneous is uniform property throughout the continuum. Isotropic material, it is the material property is same. It depends irrespective of direction or orientation. Anisotropic material will have different properties in different directions, and whereas in orthotropic material, each direction has got different property. Example for orthotropic material is wood. Is that okay? Okay. So these are all some of the properties that we need to know. Note down now homogeneous material. Quickly, please note down homogeneous material. Homogeneous material. Wood, even plywood also is one of the examples for orthotropic material. Homogeneous material. Note down. Material properties are uniform throughout the continuum. CONTINWM. That's continuum. Continuum is nothing but the material is continuously spread within. Okay, without any voids or pores being present. Are you getting it? Because continuum, you are going to use that word in your 6th semester again in finite element analysis. That's going to be the first word that you are going to learn. So therefore, you should know what is continuum. Continuum is distribution of material being continuous without any voids or pores being present. Got the clarity? Yeah? Yeah. Please note down, material properties are uniform throughout its continuum. Finished? Finished?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, isotropic material. Isotropic material. Isotropic material. Material properties are independent of direction or orientation. Isotropic material. The material properties are independent of direction or orientation. Direction or orientation. Okay. Next. Anisotropic material. Anisotropic material. Some people use A, some people use U. Okay. So anisotropic material. There is no plane of material property symmetry. Anisotropic material. There is no plane. Plane is nothing but which has got length and breadth and negligible thickness. That is called a plane, right? So there is no plane of material property symmetry in case of anisotropic material. Next, orthotropic material, ORTHOTROPIC, orthotropic material. Orthotropic material. Materials have three mutually perpendicular planes. Materials have three mutually perpendicular planes. Mutually perpendicular planes. Note down this sketch. X, Y, and Z. Three mutually perpendicular planes of property symmetry. Of property symmetry. And can have different material properties in different directions. Along each axis you can have different material properties along each axis. Different material properties along each axis. Along each axis. Example, wood, fiberglass, plywood, etc. Wood, fiberglass, plywood, etc. Okay? Is it okay? Finished up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next property we need to know is creep. What is these are all some of the types of failures that we are going through. Okay, of the components. Right. Now, what is creep? Let's understand. When a component is subjected to, a constant stress at high temperature, essentially at high temperature for a longer duration, then the failure of the component would occur. Okay, that means it will lead to slow and permanent deformation, and eventually the component will fail. Such a failure or permanent deformation is called creep. That is, it is subjected to a constant stress, okay, at high temperature for a longer duration. This will lead to permanent deformation. Okay, this will lead to permanent deformation. Okay, such a failure is called, or such a property is called the creep. So this creep is considered during design of IC engines, boilers, and turbines, and so on. Okay, so now creep, CREEP, creep. When a part is subjected to, a constant stress, when a part is subjected to a constant stress, at a high temperature, for a long period of time, Siddharth Sanu. Is there? Siddharth Sanu? Yeah, Siddharth Sanu is there? Yeah. What did you take? What did you take now? What did you, yeah?
Long period of time.
Long period of time, it will undergo a slow and permanent deformation called creep. it will undergo a slow and permanent deformation. It will undergo a slow and permanent deformation called creep. Called creep. Called creep. Called creep. Full stop. This property is considered in designing. This property is considered in designing. What are the things I said? This property is considered in designing. Suddenly.
IC engines, boilers.
Yeah, exactly. IC engines, boilers, turbines, wherever temperature is there. Okay. You know, your say engine cylinder, piston, they're all subjected to stresses at high temperature for a longer duration. Okay. So there the creep type of failure will come into picture. Okay. Next is hardness. What is hardness? Basically, it is resistance to scratching, resistance to wear, resistance to machinability, or resistance to deformation. You can define it in many different ways. Okay. So to have lesser wear of the components, you should have good hardness. How do you increase the hardness of the material? What process can you adopt to increase the hardness? Can anyone tell me? Heat treatment, correct? Huh? So when you do heat treatment, the material's hardness will go up. So once the hardness goes up, its wear characteristics will improve. That means it will not wear out faster. Okay, but at the same time, it will lose its ductility property. It will move towards brittle property. Correct? Huh? So please note down hardness. Hardness. It is the resistance to wear. It is the resistance to wear, W-E-A-R, where it is the resistance to wear, scratching, deformation, machinability, etc. Machinability, etc. Yeah. Okay. With little knowledge on various properties of materials, of course, you have many more properties to learn. These are all the important things. Now, coming to machine design. Okay, right. So what did we learn the previous class about machine design? What is the job of a designer? What is the job of a designer? It is to determination of size, shape, and which is the other one?
Materials needed, sir.
Exactly. Okay. So basic job of a designer is to determine size of the material, shape of the material, and also choose appropriate material for designing a machine or an automobile or whatever, right? So to design a machine, so these are all the things. Okay, so basically the subject machine design deals with the art and science both. Okay, it is deals with the art and science of designing the machines or structures. Okay, science of designing machines or structures. Science is okay because it involves a lot of basic engineering knowledge, then mathematical knowledge, all those things. So science is okay. What about art? Why we are bringing art here? Why do you design engineer should know about art also? Or machine design basic definition is it deals with art and science of designing machine or a structure. Why we are bringing art here? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone?
Bring an aesthetic look to the machine.
Yeah, exactly. Fine. Could others get it? Could others get it?
So about it's all about the look and how we represent the machine to the.
Yeah. Okay. So there comes the art. The art comes into picture there. Even though your engine is extraordinary engine you have built inside, but if the shape and looks are not good, people are not going to buy the vehicle that we have designed. So therefore, it is both art and science of designing machines or structures. So that is the basic definition of machine design. Okay, again, it is the creation of new machines or improving the existing ones. Okay, improving the existing machines. Correct now? So the machine design can be, yeah, creation of a new machine or improving upon the existing machines. Okay, so they both are involved in machine design. If you are designing a new vehicle, that's also machine design. If you are trying to improve the existing machine, whatever that we have designed, you are trying to improve a bike with its mileage or its rideability or comfort, or if you are increasing its aerodynamic capability and so on, reducing the aerodynamic drag, okay, they're all improvement in existing machines, right? So both creation of new machines and also the improving of existing machines. So when you do improvement of existing machines, that means the overall cost should come down. Overall cost should come down, okay, and the production rate also should increase. That is, rate of production should increase. Okay. This is what happens when you are trying to improve the existing machine. That is, there should be improvement in production rate, and also there should be less overall cost, and also the performance of the machine should be much superior than what it is before improvement. Are you there with me? Are you there with me? So the new machine or a better machine is one which is economical, right? In overall cost of production, and also the performance during operation should be better. Are you there with me? So the machine design deals with art and science of creating or designing machines or structures. Next is, it is the creation of new machines or improving the existing machines. Improving the existing machines should reduce overall cost of production. That means it should become economical, and the performance, there should be enhancement or improvement in performance of the machine. So these are all the basics of machine design. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please note down the definition of machine design. The subject machine design deals with, please note down, the subject machine design deals with the subject machine design deals with the art and science of designing. The subject machine design deals with the art and science of designing machines or structures. Art and science of designing machines or structures. Next line. Next line. Please note down, please write in the book. Okay? Don't just idly sit before. Okay? I am dictating all these things for a better purpose. So please note down. Okay? Yeah. Next. It is the creation of new and better machines. Next line. It is the creation of new and better machines. It is the creation of new and better machines. And improving the existing ones. And improving the existing ones. Improving the existing ones. Okay? Finished now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next line. Next line. Next line. A new or better machine is one. A new or better machine is one. A new or better machine is one. New or better machine is one, which is more economical, which is more economical, which is more economical in overall cost, in overall cost, overall cost of the production, overall cost of the production, and improved performance, and improved performance, and improved performance. Okay, finished? Finished now?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's look at the classification of design. Classification of machine design. Okay, so how do we classify machine design? Is basically, the first one is the adaptive design. We call it as adaptive design. Next is the development design. Development design. And third one is the new design. Okay, these are the three basic types of designs under classification of machine design. One is the adaptive design, second one is development design, and third one is new design. So what do you mean by adaptive design? Basically, in adaptive design, we are going to adopt the existing, okay, existing design. Okay, we are going to adopt the existing designs, and here the skill of a design engineer is not much utilized, or a person need not possess, okay, special knowledge and skills in case of adaptive design. That is, we are just trying to copy the designs as it is without changing any dimensions, without changing any material. We are just copying the drawings. That's all, right? That is what is done in adaptive design, where the knowledge and skills of the persons are not that much essential. In case of adaptive design, that's what normally in collaborations, that's what happens, right? So if we collaborate with a foreign company, he will just give you the drawings and we just produce the components, and we are going to copy the same drawings without any knowledge or without any skill and knowledge being required. So that's what happens in case of adaptive design. Whereas in case of development design, in development design, you need considerable amount of skills, wherein the design may start with the existing one, but the final product can be totally different altogether. the final product will be totally different altogether, even though you start with the existing design, but final product can be totally a different one. Or you can adopt different method, or you can adopt different manufacturing process. So there you need considerable knowledge and skills in case of development design, whereas the new design is entirely new. You start from scratch, that is the unstructured problem you are going to take, and then you start somewhere, and then by iterations, you will make the problem structured and solve the problem. So here, lot of technical ability, okay, lot of technical ability and creativity are required in case of new design. That means if you are designing something new, you need abilities, creativity, and all the adjectives that are required. Whereas in development design, we need a little amount of skills are required, where we start with the existing design, but the final product can be different. There can be improvement in manufacturing processes and methods that are adopted. Whereas in case of adaptive design, there are no skills and knowledge sets are required. We are just going to adopt the existing designs as it is. Could you get it? What this classification all means? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please note down. Please note down. Classification of machine design, adaptive design, development design, new design. Please note down in your notebook. You don't worry about quiz as of now, huh? And you.
Okay, sir.
Huh? Okay. Why? You want to do something else? And you?
No, sir. Just asked.
Oh, that's all. Huh? Okay. You are reminding me. Don't worry. We'll have. Please. Please note down. Learn the subject first. Finish noting down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now note down adaptive design. Adaptive design. In this type or in adaptive design, the designer's work is to adopt the existing designs. Designer's work is to adopt the existing designs. Adopt the existing designs. Full stop. This type of design does not need special knowledge and skills. Okay. Next, development design needs Yeah, in development design needs considerable scientific training and design ability. Development design needs considerable scientific training and design ability. Considerable scientific training and design ability. Design ability in order to modify the existing design. In order to modify the existing design, into a new idea, into a new idea, into a new idea, new idea by adopting a new material or by adopting. Hey, don't keep typing USNs in chat box. Okay, they are not valid, so don't take the need not keep typing USN in chat box. Okay, I'll take attendance after the class. Yeah, don't spend time there in chatting. Not down. New idea by adopting a new material or different method of manufacture. Different method of manufacture. Full stop. In this, the designer may start from the existing design. In this, the designer may start from the existing design. The designer may start from the existing design. Designer may start from the existing design. But the final product, may differ largely from the original product. May differ largely from the original product. Largely from the original product. Next, new design needs lot of technical ability, creative thinking, and creativity. Okay, done. Yeah, answer your roll call. Sai Sumant,
Yes, sir.
Abhishek GL, not there. Abhishek Narayan,
Present, sir.
Adarsh Desai,
Present, sir.
Ajay Sunil,
Yes, sir.
Akram Anwar,
Present, sir.
Akshay Jadhav,
Yes, sir.
Alap,
Present, sir.
Nambiar,
Yes, sir.
Nadalla,
Yes, sir.
Biban.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Make it fast. Don't keep sleeping. Chinmayi,
Present, sir.
Chandan, Charishma,
Present, sir.
Darshan,
Present, sir.
Ibad,
Present, sir.
Govindraj,
Present, sir.
Jayant Reddy,
Present, sir.
Purushottam Reddy,
Present, sir.
Ritik Shah,
Yes, sir.
Bansali,
Present, sir.
Jitin Kumar,
Yes, sir.
Chaitanya Vamshi, Karamjit Singh, Avasti,
Present, sir.
Kiran V, Mastanullah,
Yes, sir.
Mazin, Sharan, Narendra,
Present, sir.
Nihal Shetty,
Yes, sir.
Nikhil,
Present, sir.
Nimmala Vagmesh.
Present, sir.
Vagmesh is there, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Nitin, yes.
Present, sir.
Prajwal,
Yes, sir.
Prayag,
Yes, sir.
Prince Prabhakar,
Present, sir.
Pinto,
Yes, sir.
Rakshit,
Yes, sir.
Rishi,
Yes, sir.
Sandeep, Sanjay Gowda, Sanjay N,
Yes, sir.
Satish Shankar, Saurabh Praveen,
Yes, sir.
Shivam Kumar,
Yes, sir.
Sundriyal,
Present, sir.
Saluja, Shravan Saluja, Srinidhi.
Yes, sir.
Hey, why did you miss classes? I say earlier 2 classes. Huh?
I had my exam, sir.
Okay, Siddharth A,
Present, sir.
Sanu,
Yes, sir.
Sudip KS,
Hello. Excuse me, sir. Actually, my connection was lost, sir.
yeah? What Saluja? You missed, huh?
Seven.
Yeah, you went outside, huh? Leaving your
Sir.
laptop.
Sir.
Huh? Okay. Sudeep KS. Sudeep KS.
54.
Is there? Sudeep KS. Sunil Kumar. Tarun Pachori. Present, huh? Vinay J.
Yes,
Vinay
sir.
J.
Yes, sir.
Why did you miss yesterday's class? I say, Vinay. Vinay, why did you miss
Yes, sir.
class?
Sorry, sir.
No, if you miss class sitting at home also, what is this? Vipan Singh,
Yes, sir.
Vivek S, Milan Chaudhary.
Present, sir.
Milan Chaudhary is there.
Yes, sir.
Why did you miss previous class? Huh? Take care. Mole Patti,
Present, sir.
Saksham Singh,
Yes, sir.
be regular man, Saksham Singh. Chaitanya Patel,
Yes, sir.
Mahesh Madiwal, Nishant, Ramesh, Shashank, Chaitanya Patel.
Yes, sir.
Did you talk to your friends, diploma friends?
Yes, sir. I'll inform them.
Informed them?
Yes, sir. I have
What,
informed them.
what they want to study or they don't want to study?
I don't know, sir. About.
Okay, you have told them no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Akshat,
Yes, sir.
Sautrik Rai, Mahima Raj.
Present, sir.
Okay, 1 second. Srivatsan, Suman Xavier, Madan Kumar, Manu, Shadab, Ganesh, Vijay Kumar. Okay. See you tomorrow at 10:50.
Yes, sir.
Yes.